Hey, okay, I'm going to take you on a little journey. Me and the old lady, we took a nice journey on out to Idaho. We have a mining claim out in the high mountain desert in Idaho. It's kind of an undisclosed location. But I wanted to give you an idea of what went on. We had an awesome trip. It was just gorgeous out there. And when it comes to remote, we later discovered that it is considered one of the most remote areas in the lower 48 states. And so when it comes to being in the middle of nowhere, we were in the middle of nowhere. But we had an awesome time. And I wanted to share with you a little bit of what happened out there. I got here a piece, it looks like a piece of rock. But what this is a piece of obsidian. And obsidian was created when the ancient volcanoes were pushing up and forming the Earth's crust, and the lava hits the glacier, and everything kind of comes together in the exact right moment in time, and it forms obsidian in different colors, and it's really quite an incredible, not really a gem, but more of a stone. Idaho being the gemstone state, but this is unique. What we actually have here is a piece of worked obsidian that was worked by the ancient indigenous people. I don't know, probably who knows how long ago, because they say there were many generations of Indians and indigenous people out there that they, time-wise, they can go back as much as 1,200 years. They've recorded dates. And so obsidian has a grain to it. And you can see where it was worked here. What makes this unique is this, in fact, was a worked piece of obsidian, which adds an incredible amount of value to it. We stopped by the local historical society, and they were very interested in this piece, and they wanted it. And we were like, no, because number one, it's mine. I found it, finders keepers, whatever. But it just, when you find something like this, you know it's something special. Now, obsidian is and even in those days, it's considered a spiritual type of a gem or a stone. It is said to have spiritual characteristics as far as removing negative energy, shit like that. I do believe in this to a certain degree, because you can hold this in your hand and it does, and like there's something going on there. But what makes it valuable is you can see where this was chipped away here at the bottom. And the craftsmen of the day, you know, they were just like craftsmen of modern day. You know, one dude was chipping rock and making arrowheads and knife edges, and he was damn good at it, so that was his specialty, and that's what he did. And another guy was good at, you know, making baskets, and another guy might have been good at, you know, whatever. It's just like you had good craftsmen in certain areas, they excelled in some areas and not so good in others, just like modern day. Let's say you had a good mechanic and, you know, a shitty mechanic. It's kind of along the same line. So that shitty mechanic wasn't a mechanic, he went on to do something else, and they found their place in their societies, and everybody excelled at something special. They just, when they found their niche, they all worked together to survive. So this was a very, very interesting and quite rare find, because modern day archaeologists are interested in that, because you can almost tell how they worked the piece. It's very different than finding an arrowhead. It's just an arrowhead. This gives a tell as to how the arrowhead was created, which kind of adds to the value, but the value is in the journey. And me and the old lady and my brother Vic actually found this. I was wedged in a rock, and we have a very interesting situation out there. I mean, we found gold. There is gold. There are pockets of gold on this claim. We're gonna head out there in the spring sometime, videotape it, show you what we got going on. And we're going to do some research, and we've done a lot of research on what we are now calling the Dead Chinaman Mine. The Dead Chinaman Mine was, a guy had a very valuable mine that he had discovered in a canyon in that area We have documented it. We've talked to multiple people, local people that said yes, it in fact did exist. And this dude was like, he was a whacked out dude, man. He would go to the West Coast, buy himself a Chinaman, truck in there in the spring when the weather got good, and work the mine. And what they began, you know, hey, here's this dude, he comes in the spring with the Chinaman, he goes out in the fall when the weather gets crappy, no Chinaman. Next year, Chinaman in, no Chinaman out. Well, they kind of got onto this dude, and they basically, when the law began to be significant, you know, in the beginning of all this shit out there, it was completely lawless. There was no rule of law. People just did what they wanted. Chinese slaves didn't matter. You know, they were meaningless. But he would kill them because he didn't want them to give them up. Give up the location. Or maybe he just got hungry. Either way, he killed them. So, but this is pretty cool. A little bit of history. We're going to delve into this a little further when we get out there. We're going to shoot some video out there in the spring. And we'll keep you informed as to what we got going on. Till we meet again.